Hey, come on in, Soleil. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Unitarian Coastal Fellowship, a place where many paths meet, where we honor the rich tapestry of spiritual traditions, and where all are welcome to responsibly explore their own connection to the sacred. I am Reverend Leslie Runnels, and I use she, her pronouns, joined today with Maria Lundgren as worship associate. Karen Baggett is our song leader, Megan Smith on piano, and Brittany and Barb are trying to make all the magic happen. And some days it's harder than others. If you are visiting us for the first or second time, would you raise your hand so that we may welcome you? All right. Oh, we got a bunch. Okay, great. We can bring the microphone around. If you would like to introduce yourselves, that's great. If you don't want to, you don't need to. But just your name and what brought you here.
Hi, I'm Greg Weeder. I'm a member of All People's Unitarian in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm traveling the coast in my boat. And if I'm in a UU town on a Sunday, I join the service.
Thank you. I met Greg at the rally, the No Kings rally in New Bern yesterday, and he came up to me because I had on UU, clothes. And he said, "You look like a UU," and I was like, "Yeah." And he told me his story about how he's traveling around the country for like 4 years, going up the coast. And he says, "Yeah, tomorrow I'm going down to this place, Morehead City. I'm going to go to the Unitarian Church there." I'm like, I know that one. Hi, welcome back.
Hi, I'm Skia Lawrence. Some of you met me last Christmas. I'm a Navy brat, and my dad is retired down here. He's getting kind of older, and he needs help. He's needed help a lot over the years with Agent Orange. So for 16 years, I intermittently drop in, but a lot of you missed me during the whole COVID lockdown when I didn't appear. So I'm back for the winter.
Welcome back, Skia.
Hi, I'm Andy Roche, and I decided after all these years that I definitely want God in my life, but I don't want all the guilt associated with the Catholic religion.
Amen.
I tried going back to Mass, and it just seems like it doesn't give me anything. I get nothing back from it, and that's what I'm basically looking for now. I need Him in my life. I know that.
Yeah.
So
Welcome.
That's why I'm here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Susie Van Gilder. This is my second time attending, and I'm here for a sense of community and to learn more about all of this. And last week I was here. You may have seen me. I was in the back, a little bit boo-hooey, but it was tears of joy and sorrow. But I'm happy to be here.
Welcome back, Susie. Maria?
Anyone else? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Debbie Jones, and I moved up to this area from Swansboro about a year ago. And I'm here because I really struggled with my Christianity that I grew up with all that's going on now. I just feel like I can't walk through the doors. And I'm just looking for a place with more inclusion and more excitement. And I feel like you do. I feel like I need God and spirituality in my life, but I needed to make a change. So that's why I'm here.
Welcome. And now we will, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nancy King, and I met Karen a couple days ago, but then also at the rally, and she told me about you all, and it sounded very interesting, and I was raised Lutheran, but I'm open to other, I just want more in this and then more inclusive church, although the Lutherans are good too. But just thought I'd try, see how everything is here. So,
Great.
Thank you.
Welcome. I told
Okay,
Karen, I said to Karen this morning, thank you for picking people off the street at the rally and bringing them to church.
It's time for my Lutheran joke, which I'm allowed to do because I was raised Lutheran, okay? At least Catholics have confession. Lutherans just have guilt. Anyway, for the folks on Zoom, who do we have?
Sick. Forgot about this. Dan Phillips. We've got Gary Willis and John Brobst, Kay and Darrell Lynch, Michelle Kripo, and the Peshes.
Oh, great. Okay. Wave to everybody on Zoom. All right, and we have a few announcements this morning. The first thing is that this coming Thursday at 6:30 p.m. is a social justice film called American Coup, Wilmington, 1898. And Harriet, who's right here, if you have any questions about this, Harriet will be happy to answer. But please come, we set up in here, we have popcorn, and we get to watch this. It's a really good movie. I know you've seen it, right? Yeah. So join us for that. Next week is our Intergenerational Sunday, and it is also our annual building of an ancestral altar. The sermon is about the thinning of the veil as we embrace the Samhain season. So bring memorabilia from your beloveds who have passed on, and we'll set up a really beautiful altar. And then don't forget to take your pieces home at the end of the day. And also next week, because it's multi-generational, it is Friends Feeding Friends Day, and we are ready for canned soup, canned chili, meat in a pot, sardines, whatever, things like that, before we were being careful about not putting out things in the heat that might burst or whatever, but we're ready for that now. So pack up all you got and bring it. The kids are going to walk through service and pick up the offering, and then they're going to take it to the pantry and set it up. So don't forget that next week. Another bit of exciting news is that after a couple of years of social and spiritual justice study, the Welcoming Congregation team has finalized a proposal to turn all of our restrooms into gender-neutral restrooms. Woot woot! They presented the proposal to the board, and after a few weeks of discussion and research, the board unanimously approved the proposal. So again, whoop whoop. Yes. We fly the flags outside, stating our values, and now our insides are going to match. We are going to have some videos for you to watch, and we really encourage you to watch them. They're put out by the UUA, and they're really short. They're like 30 minutes or something, right? The videos, Holly, aren't they kind of short? But that's going to help you understand why and how and what. And if you have questions, if you're concerned about anything, please come to me. I can get you with the people you need to talk to. Like if you're worried about the locks on the doors or things like that, I'll get you to the right person to talk to. Okay. Now we get to this morning's worship service, which is about the spiritual practice of morning altars. And we are going to create one together in the courtyard in stages. So here's how it's going to work. After we do the time for all ages, the children and this group of people over here are going to go out to the courtyard, and I've drawn a big blue circle out there, and you're going to start building a morning altar. And did anybody bring anything to put into a morning altar outside? Yes, we do have some things here, something there. And then there's one box of things here that somebody can pick up to bring with. And they're going to go out there and they're going to start the altar. And then the children are going to go to their classes, and the rest of the adults are going to come back. Don't stop for coffee. Don't stop for snacks. Come right back. And then we're going to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last 3 rows are going to go. They're going to get this box over here that they can go out with. Then we'll do this side, which will have that box down there. And then the last group to go will be this front group here. And y'all are going to bring whatever you've got. And you're also going to kind of like tidy things up. Because after, 3 groups of people getting out there, it might be a little bit wild. So it'll be your turn to like make things pretty. Yes, Adam?
So I have a lot of
Yes. Yeah, I think by the time you get out there, because you'll be part of the last group, you'll look at the altar and you say, oh yeah, it needs a bit of orange, and you'll bring in your orange extension cord or something like that, right? And then I've also asked Adam to stay till the very end so that he can take a picture of the altar, and then he's going to email it to me, Brittany, and then I'm going to try and upload it to the Google Drive, and I'm going to try and send you a link to it while y'all are singing a song or something, and we're going to see if we can play it or show it. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I'm biting off a lot today. Okay, and then the other thing is if you have somebody in your group that has mobility issues, because this is going to be down on the ground, then some of you who don't have the mobility issues, be sure to check in with the people who do and see if they want you to put something on the altar for them, or they might say, you need to move that around, and do that for them, okay? All right, that's all of that. We can now settle in, and we're going to have, from the brightness of this Sunday morning, gathered here in community, we're going to prepare ourselves for worship service, and we're going to let music move us into the mystery.
Come into this moment as if stepping into a garden at dawn, quiet, tender, open to what may grow. Let compassion be the flower we bend toward. We return as if returning to the soil, hands in the dirt, willing to tend what needs tending. Here today we gather to remember that the most delicate blooms require daily care, that attention is the water of love, that we are still learning how to care. Come, let us begin again in love, tending the garden of the heart and the heart of compassion. And now let us speak these words as one. Come, let us worship together. Okay. Parker, we're ready for you. As we light this chalice, may all who gather here be filled with joy and hope, filled with compassion and love, so that we may pour ourselves out into the world. As we light our peace candle, we are reminded that peace is a process that requires work, that peace is not merely an absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. Let us join our voices together. Those of us who dream of peace and justice on a Sunday morning, we will sing hymn 131, Love Will Guide Us.
We'll lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep inside you. Trying to change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace inside us, hope inside us. We'll lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
Love guides us to each other in sacred ritual, where we make some space and time to be human and celebrate our joys and grieve our sorrows together. Should you wish to share a personal joy or sorrow about a person or persons in your life, there is a paper to fill out over there. You can place it in the basket, and then I will read it aloud as part of the ritual. And the way this works, we'll line up along here and we'll line up along that outer edge there. You come to the basket and you pick a shell or a stone. You put what you need to put into that shell or stone, and then you place it into the water. And as this process goes on, this ritual goes on, this becomes holy water because it holds all of our sacredness, our joys, our concerns, our sorrows, our grief. So I invite you now to the ritual. Skia shares with us that her 91-year-old father is having a really hard time with his health. It was Agent Orange related, and he just isn't happy right now. We send you our love. The Bijou family says to ask us to please continue praying for baby nephew fighting for his life in ICU. So sorry to hear about that. And to send strength and support to all those fighting for freedom. Amen. Greg sends love and healing energy to Maureen, whose son Vincent has terminal cancer. Sending love. In honor of the solidarity and force of peaceful protest that was experienced yesterday at the No Kings March here in New Bern, and 2,600 different locations across the USA. That sounds like a joy. And Karen Baggett is happy that 5 UCF choir members were able to be part of Choir Fest at the UU Fellowship Rally last weekend, where they had 60 singers and everybody sounded great. Love it. That is its own ministry, and I'm so glad that those of you who do music have taken that on. Sarah Sutherland shares a joy with us that Hallie and her mom will be going on their annual fall trip to Cape Lookout tomorrow. Congratulations! Suju wishes us all a happy Diwali. Thank you for celebrating with me without even realizing it. Happy Diwali. Helene says the No King rallies around the nation were such an inspiration, giving hope to a better future for our country. Amen, Helene. And Harriet says, joyful for all my UU buddies that were there yesterday at the No Kings rally, both physically and in spirit. Yes, indeed. There were many of us that could not make it, but we were all there. Yes, indeed. And there was a kitty cat and a frog and a banana and a lobster and a peacock and a chicken and a rooster and kitty, yes. Thankful to the Portland protesters who use mockery as a form of protest and how that has spread across this whole country from Portland to New Bern, right? That's how community works. By the light of this chalice, let us together take a moment to hold in our hearts all that is known to us and unknown of those who are struggling in pain, in grief. For the sorrows and concerns shared here, may you feel our sympathy and compassion. We take it a moment to open our hearts to joy, ours or that of others, known and unknown. We join you in celebration. For all that remains unspoken, both joy and sorrow, may the caring of this community offer you both kindness and hope. May you know love. May you know peace. And may you be safe. Okay, here is our Time for All Ages. It's a video, and I need to jump to my other script real quick. Okay. Let me see if I need to say something before we start. No, you can rock and roll with it. The beginning of March 2020, after meeting with my therapist, and we were understanding that New Orleans was getting ready to go into a shutdown for a little while because of the COVID pandemic, which we thought would only be for a couple of weeks. She offered up a little spiritual practice for me to do during that time. She suggested that I take a walk each morning and along the way, gather some debris, some things to bring back, and then make a little morning altar. She gave me this really beautiful book, which I have down here, and those of you who like to read books or look at books during coffee hour, please come enjoy it. It's a beautiful book. At first, I was doing them in my little courtyard on a little brown plastic table, and I took pictures of them, and I was sharing them on Facebook. My neighbors upstairs were looking down over their balcony at them and talking to me about them and encouraging me, and they would come out each day to look for them. I continued to do it every day, and it became a spiritual practice. Every morning, getting out, taking a walk, and collecting items for the altar. I started recognizing feelings that related to the making of the altar, and so I started writing in what my mood was each day. I continued making them in my courtyard for a couple of weeks, and then I kind of started to fall in love with them. And I thought that other people might benefit from seeing them too. So on day 14, I took them to the corner of my sidewalk by my house. Keep in mind that at this time, when most of us weren't working, everything was shut down, and the only thing people could do was take a walk outside, oftentimes still wearing a mask. So we were walking outside, and I would see a lot of people walking around the neighborhood while I was walking and collecting my morning things and getting my exercise. And the altars became my own little ministry. Zoom. You might remember how quiet it was for those first 2 weeks. I didn't have meetings to go to. We weren't doing organizing things. The church was shut down. Didn't need to go to board meetings, all that kind of stuff. We were just on hold. And then, alas, we figured out about Zoom and Skype, and everything kind of went to that. I was in seminary. Our classes were online, and it was so hard. You probably remember what it was like, and you got too Zoomed or too Skyped. And now we'll enjoy some with music. So that was our time for all ages, and now what this group is going to do, and all the children that want to participate, you're going to pick up this basket, maybe Ymir or Parker if you want to go. Pick up this basket, you're going to go outside, and you're going to start the morning altar for us. And then the young ones can go to classes, and the adults are going to come back. This basket right here. Yep. It's a little heavy, be careful. Blessing you were born, and it matters what you do. What we know about is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty you love be what you do, and we don't have to do it alone. It's a beauty you were born, and it matters what you do. I know about God is a piece of the truth. The beauty you love be what you do, and I don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing we were born, and it matters what we do. What we do about God is a piece of the truth. The beauty we love be what we do, and we don't have to do it alone. All right, you can continue the next video. I continued making the morning altars. I loved going through the neighborhood. My walk started going farther and farther because I wanted to find different materials to work with. Everything became fodder for the altars: sticks and an abandoned fork, a package of hair ties. I would find driftwood from walking along the river, and it was springtime, so there was a bounty of flowers to pull from, and occasionally I would find feathers. I was posting them on Facebook and getting a lot of feedback about them from people across the country wanting to see what I was doing each morning. It became an online ministry too. At my house, I would hear people at the altar talking about me, saying, yeah, she comes out here every morning and makes this altar. They're like, every morning? They're like, yeah, every morning, and we come here and look at it. I didn't clean off the corner. I didn't clean up the altars each day. They would get just blown away. And also because people would be coming around the corner walking their dogs, they would walk right through the altars. And I had to be okay with that impermanence, to just let it go. Most of the time I was okay. Sometimes I was not. I would pile up some of the leftovers by my house so I could reuse things. One morning I woke up and went outside, and somebody had picked up my pile of leftovers and kind of plopped them on the street, and then they took those 5 or 6 hair ties and set them around it. And I knew that it was an intentional altar because they put those 5 things like this, but the rest of it they just plopped. I found out that person was living around the corner in a camper van and saw that they were starting to make their own altars outside of their camper van door. All right, so now they should have been back already. We are going to send our next group out there, so y'all can kind of like push them, tell them, get out of there, it's our turn. So it's those last 3 or 4 rows back there, and you can come up, if you don't have something, you can come up and bring up a basket. And remember that it's sacred ritual, so only talk if you need to. Yeah. Take that first. So it evidently takes longer to make an altar than I thought. You're going to speed them up? Okay. In the meantime, we're going to go into silence and meditation together.
Let us deepen into silence for a time of meditation and the prayers of your own heart. We will begin with a poem, then enter into silence for a few minutes, and music will bring us out of the meditation. Feel free to close your eyes if you like. This is a poem by the Sufi poet Hafiz. Let your senses and bodies stretch out like a welcomed season onto the meadows and shores and hills. Open up the roof. Make a new watermark on your excitement and love. Like a blooming night flower, bestow your vital fragrance of happiness and giving upon our intimate assembly. Change rooms in your mind for a day. All the hemispheres in existence. Greet yourself in your 1,000 other forms as you mount the hidden tide and travel back home. All the hemispheres in heaven are sitting around a fire chatting while stitching themselves together into the great circle inside of you.
go ahead and start the next one. On day 44, I wasn't feeling great. My stomach had been bothering me a lot because that's how my body reacts to stress. My stomach becomes irritated. So I didn't make one that day. And along the way, I used to always hear this mother and her daughter come by. The daughter was probably like 3 or 4 years old. And I would hear the daughter want to take the big flower out of the middle, the big thing, right? Oh, Mommy, I want to know. You have to leave it so that everybody else gets to see it. And they would kind of argue about it and stuff, and I kind of chuckled. And the next day, on day 45, I was still laying on my couch, not feeling great, and I heard them outside the window, and the little girl said, well, Mommy, where is it? And Mama said, well, I don't know. Maybe she's running late today. And the little girl said, Mommy, do you think she got the sick? And I knew when she said the sick, she meant COVID. And so now there's this 3 or 4-year-old little girl thinking I have COVID. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make one every day. I don't care. The next day, day 45, when I went to go out to get my stuff, a friend of mine came up on his bike with a handful of flowers and leaves and sticks that he had collected along the way. And he gave them to me. He said, Leslie, we are counting on you to make these every day. It is our spiritual practice too. And that's what it was for this little girl. She and her mom were walking during COVID at a time when things were scary. And they had a ritual of coming. And that changed it for me. It's like, okay, now I know this is a ministry. This is a street ministry. One day, I decided to broaden my range, and I went to the other side of the big street. This would be like kind of going on the other side of Arundel, or maybe the other side of Bridges. And I was living in a gentrified neighborhood, but the other neighborhood across the street had not been gentrified yet. They had the same beautiful old houses, but they hadn't been repainted again and again, and they hadn't had their kitchens redone again and again, and their driveways weren't redone again and again. And they also didn't have gardens or bushes or shrubs or plants for me to pull from. And I realized how this was another way that poverty shows up in my life, where I don't even recognize the privilege that I had to walk around my neighborhood, which was gentrified by the gays in the 1980s. So it is fabulous. The colors in the houses are gorgeous. There's plants everywhere. There was a bounty to pull from. And at this time, when we knew what was happening with poverty and COVID, it was this stark reminder every day. All right. Okay. We've got everybody back. Fabulous. Let's send out our next group, which is this side group. If you would like to pick up this basket to take with you and out there and add what you can. And remember that it is a sacred spiritual practice, so only talk if you need to. All right. Thank you, Wesley. All right. And while they are off adding to the altar, we are going to sing We Laugh, We Cry, number 354.
It's up to us now. We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have time's endless journey as we watch the baby grow. We thrill to the imagination freely running wild. We dedicate our minds and hearts to the spirit of this child, and we believe in a life and in the strength of love, and we have found our time to be together, and with the grace of age we share the wonder of youth, and we believe that growing is an answer. Our lives are full of wonder and our time is very brief. The death of one among us fills us all with pain and grief. But as we live, so shall we die, and when our lives are done, memories we shared with friends, they will linger on, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a place to be together. We have the right to grow, we have the gift, and we think this is an answer. We seek elusive answers to the questions of this life. We seek to put answers. No. Keep going. I can't see it. And we have found our joy being together. Finally on the same page. Search for peace. Maybe we'll finally see. Even to question truly is an answer. Yay!
And don't worry, the last group is still going to go. But while you're all back, we're going to get the offering.
Every year, we at Unitarian Coastal Fellowship give to others in our community during the holidays. UCF adults and children participate in assembling gift bags for over 100 adults in Carteret County who are dealing with serious problems, including homelessness, severe and persistent mental illness, developmental disabilities, natural disasters, and addiction recovery. Please give generously so we can give to others this holiday season. Please join in blessing this offering with hymn number 402, From You I Receive. From you I receive, to you
we send our most patient group these first 3 rows. We don't have another box for you because there should be plenty outside. Y'all's job is to finish it up. What's not in balance? What needs to be shifted? Go have fun. And then, Adam, you can take a pick at the end. That's okay. All right. Oh, we're going to sing one more song. That's right. Hopefully the slides on this one will work. We're going to sing number 128, For All That Is Our Life. What am I doing? Is that right? 368. That is right.
Okay, a challenge. Okay, but I know we can do it. We can do it. Okay, so we've got, if you look in your hymnal, it's at 368, you'll see there's 2 lines. And one of the lines is for, could be lower voices. And then the upper lines are for the higher voices. So what we're going to do first is we're going to practice the lower voices part. Anyone, any voice can sing this. It's up to you. Okay, so Megan is going to play that part for us, and then we're going to go through it. And then we're going to stop, and I'll tell you the rest. Okay. Ready? Now let us sing. Sing, sing, now let us sing. Sing, sing, sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the faith within. Okay, now we are going to start that again, and then the other verses are going to come in on top of it. So those of you that are going to stick with this plan, your last 2 lines will be the same as what the other people are singing, okay? But you're just going to do, now let us. I can't do it, okay? And then, so we're going to start, and then the rest of the verses are going to come in. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now let us. Sing, sing, sing. Power of the faith within. Be not afraid. Sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the hope within. Sing to the power of the hope within. Lift up your voice. Be not afraid. Go one more. Go one more. Go one more. Sing to the power of the love within. Sing to the power of the love within. Lift up your voice. Be not afraid. Sing to the power of the love within. Whatever you want to. Sing to the power of the love within. Lift up your voice. Be not afraid. Sing to the power of the love within. Where did joy go? I don't have joy. Don't tell anybody, but I didn't have joy on my phone.
We're going to get you some joy on your phone. That was great. I love how that song comes together at the very end where we sing the same part together. I really like that. Okay, so things are still happening outside, and inside we are ready to wrap up with our last video. one night on day 80, I heard a couple of women outside giggling and making noise on my corner. So I just kind of peeked out the window to see what was going on. And I could tell they were down at my altar area. And I stepped out of the house and they pretended like they didn't see me. And they were still giggling and laughing. And I said, hi. And they didn't say anything back. They went back to giggling. So I was like, okay, they don't want me here. I'm going back inside. So I went back inside. And the next morning when I stepped outside, you'll have to wait to day 80. Here it comes. I walked outside on day 80 and saw these words. Nope. Oh, it must have been day 81. Sorry. Oh, this is where I was going to talk a lot. Okay. Yep, so we're just going to sit here. This was pretty hard to do, y'all. There it is. Isn't that great? So now what happens is I realize I can write words in my altars. Like they gave me such a gift. And they did it coming home from a bar, a little bit toasted, a little bit wasted. So then I began to use words. So it was also during the time of the George Floyd murder by the police and the protests that were beginning to happen, and who was out there and who was able to be out there at a scary time. And then by day 92, we've lost 500 people to the COVID pandemic. And I kept doing the altars, knowing that that beauty needed to be put in the world. It's starting to get hot. It's June. I'm walking earlier in the morning. Finished on day 100, and I decided to quit for the summer with intentions to pick it up in the fall when the weather was better. On day 100, I left this message. For the love that I felt from the community in doing this, and the love that I poured into the community from doing it. And then fast forward 4 years. Day 101, I'm in Atlantic Beach. I've taken a job. I haven't seen the city or the place. I come up to look for an apartment. I can't find one that I like. I'm a little bit disillusioned. I don't know what's here. I don't know where the good restaurants are. I've left my friends and family at home. And I went to the beach. I was staying on Atlantic Beach. And I went out to the beach, and I was just kind of looking around, like, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing here. And I picked up a bunch of shells, and I had them in my hands. And I was just looking at them, and then I just said, oh, a morning altar. And I threw them into the air and let them fall. And that was that last picture you saw. And there was a spiritual practice in that as well, to just let the cards fall, right? I am here. I'm going to figure it out. It's all going to be okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. There was nothing perfect about the way that last one looked. So did we finish the altar? And we have it in my email. I think because we're running late, I really had wanted to get it to the Zoom people to be able to see, but I'm going to put it in the wave. And so all of you joining us on Zoom, look for it in the wave, and I'm sorry you weren't able to be here. We are going to let that one continue to be as it is for the whole week. I am going to go pick up the crayons and things that we don't want to stay out there. If there's something you put out there that you want to take back home with you, pick it up on your way. And I invite you, if you need to make a morning altar sometime, like if somebody in your life is going through something and you are struggling with it, or you are going through something, try making a morning altar for a week just to see what it might shift in you. This practice of doing something on a daily basis changes your body chemistry, allows you to center in deeper than you could if you were just going through the motions. If you do this, I would love for y'all to send me a picture of it. I'd like to collect them along the way, and maybe we can even have a slideshow next year that shows all of the altars that we've built in community care. Okay, are you ready, Maria? I think you're going to wrap us up.
Please join me in reading our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now in Español. Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad, o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón, hasta que estemos juntos otra vez.
All right, so we typically do something at this time. We're not going to do that this time. What we're going to do is we're going to go outside instead of doing our benediction. And not all of us can fit out there, but some of you can go out this way and open up the gate and come on the back side of the altar, and some of us can go that way. And we're going to let the altar be our benediction. Okay? Out you go.